All right, welcome back to another episode of the Purple Pill Podcast with Darren and Rob. I'm your host, Rob. That's my co host, Darren. Today, we're going to be talking about. Today, we're going to be talking about the Ime Udoka situation in Boston. So, Darren, what do you have to say about the situation, or do you want me to try to explain what we know so far?
You can explain what we know so far, and then we can talk about what we think about it.
All right. So what we know so far. So let me give it like in a little timeline. When this first came out, I forget what day it came out, but it came out Ime Udoka, Coach Udoka of the Boston Celtics, was
Let's
being
be very
suspended.
p. Let's be very PC with the way we say things.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna be PC at all. Was being suspended for from the Boston Celtics for 1 year. When we first came out, we didn't have any idea what it was for. Then after like a day or two, it came out that he had a consensual relationship with a staff member of the Boston Celtics that did not that went against the company's, let's say,
Conduct.
work guidelines, code of conduct. So that's why he was being suspended. So people lost their minds on Twitter and started try to find every female that ever worked for the Boston Celtics and that started naming them as the person, which was very
Mm.
disrespectful, first of all, and very disgusting by Twitter. So they just started naming random women and putting their business out there on Twitter, saying that he slept with them. Then come to find out that he was sleeping with one of the
Well,
president's wives of the
reported. We
organization,
don't. We don't. We don't know for sure yet.
allegedly.
Allegedly, that's allegedly. Everything else up until that point was was facts. Until that point, allegedly.
Um, So as of right now, the Boston Celtics claim they got a private investigation done on the matter and had the investigators look into the situation for them. Um, but at the end of the day, it's as simple as this is just some messy shit. This is some messy ass shit, and it does not look good on the organization. It doesn't look good on Ime Udoka, who just came off a finals appearance with the Boston Celtics. It doesn't look good at all from all parties involved. Darren, what do you got to say?
Um. Uh. Agree. When it comes to suspensions, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into that though. Um. I kind of agree with the suspension. Um. You break the conduct, you gotta do the time. It is what it is. Don't want to see him in this situation, but I didn't put him in it, and I don't control his outcome in the situation at all. But he definitely deserves to be suspended in my mind. Um, I think the Boston Celtics handled this um poorly, and I know it's not a something that you have to deal with all the time, but I think it was dealt with poorly, and
In what sense?
in the sense that they were reporting all of this. They're the ones who came out with this news as it was coming out. It wasn't like somebody was leaking the information. Um,
Well, it came out that they leaked the information.
yeah, so it comes from them at the end of the day. Um, but what it did was exactly what you talked about on Twitter, and that's very unfair to those women. Like they didn't ask to be a part of this situation at all. I don't know if, regardless if they just worked for the team or whatever. I think that was very sick, but I think that's what the internet does. I'm not. I would never be one of those people that do that. But I think that's what the internet does. They just try to speculate on shit they don't know, and I think that's the most disgusting thing. And I think the Celtics should have known that would have been the reaction. So I think that was handled very poorly in that sense because those women don't deserve that. And on top of it, they really haven't cleared up who it was. So and with that person, we don't know if that person was punished like Ime Udoka, honestly. And I think that person should be um, at least away from the team for the same amount of time, or sometime. I don't know, maybe the same amount of time. I don't know what position they worked in. But I
Um,
think they should be away from the team as well.
from what I heard, who they expect it to be, who they allegedly expect it to be, she was the team's booking agent, travel agent, something of that sort.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep doing the speculations until they report it and they let it out who it was for sure and what that was. But they should be suspended, maybe for not a year, maybe, but for at least a good amount of time, a fair amount of time, I would say, because it was a consensual relationship. Unless there was something else found that we just don't know and is not being reported um, on the Ime's side, then yes, I do think the female should be suspended as well because it was a consensual relationship. But I do think the Celtics handled it very poorly by um, leaking this information and not necessarily giving the name or at least pointing us in the right direction, I guess. Because it just adds too much speculation, and those women don't deserve that.
I agree with you 100%.
I want to get on to on the court some how this affects them on the court.
Do you think it will affect them on the court?
100%.
And what way? Because I don't remember the guy who's replacing him's name at the top of my head.
I don't know who's replacing them at all. I have no idea. I don't have any information on that. But I'm just saying I think these type of situations are I think for you gotta remember the Celtics storyline last year was ultimately they weren't playing well, and then like January, February, I think it was Martin Luther King Day or something like that. They just clicked on and they just went hot, like red hot all of a sudden. So I think it was you gotta remember what they did to Boston or not Boston, Brooklyn in the playoffs. I think that was a lot of him and his team. And this situation is one of those like it can mess up the team situation, team chemistry. I would say.
I think this is a bad look for Boston in general. It's a very ugly situation. It's a very disgusting situation. But even more disgusting than the situation is these women, these talking heads on ESPN. I'm specifically talking about Malika Andrews. Uh, she calls herself quote unquote defending women and coming at men all crazy. She came out Stephen A. Smith crazy. You pointed out to me that she came out Kendrick Perkins crazy. And I just find it disgusting. She's trying to push this propaganda that these women are quote unquote in danger. The woman accused, no matter who it is, if we know who she is or not, is consensually a
Was
part of this.
consensually.
A part of this. It takes two to
Hmm.
tango.
Yeah.
So for her, I think it's funny that she's willing to defend all women, but she's willing to kill black men.
Um,
I just find it hilarious.
I think I don't think ESPN did a good job with how do I put this? Um, I'm just I'll say it. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna say it. Uh, Malika Andrews was replacing Rachel Nichols, right?
Hmm.
Rachel Nichols did a really good job at her job.
She was
In
great.
my opinion, I think Rachel Nichols did a really good job. Um, the situation that she got fired for, I really didn't like why she was fired because I understand where she was coming from. She was just defending her job, and it was recorded. Somebody else just leaked it recording, so I understand in that situation. I don't want to be recorded saying something like that and then to be put out. She was defending her job at a specific time where okay, regardless, I think ESPN butchered that situation. They replaced her with Malika Andrews. Malika Andrews is I have nothing too much to say about her. I personally just I saw the difference from like day one, and maybe I'm not like the most giving of people a chance person. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Malika Andrews. I will say that. That's overall what I can say. Um, and these type of situations are the situations that make me be like, wow. Um, you got yeah. I don't know. It's how do I put this? It Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins ultimately was just reporting on facts that we know, and that's why I even stopped you when we started talking about this, and you said the last part that was allegedly, uh, and I made sure you said allegedly. We don't know that for sure. That's not a fact, and those are the reasons why. Is because I'm not a person that goes. I don't want to be on here telling people feeling without fact. I'll give you the fact at the beginning of the show. We always do here. We give you the fact, and then we'll tell you how we feel. Um, and that was my biggest problem with Malika Andrews in this scenario, is that she wasn't reacting to their facts. She was reacting to what she felt she heard from them.
And that's
Yep,
why Stephen A. Smith put her in her fucking place. She got all quiet.
disrespect,
She got super
disrespectful.
quiet. All right. You got anything else on this?
Ultimately, everybody has to do better in this situation. But like the Celtics organization has to do better. The coach has to do better. Um, yeah, everybody has to do better in the situation. And I I just really hope this behavior doesn't leak on to the players, essentially.
And I'm going to end this on a quote. Go ahead.
Oh fuck no. Sorry. We will be doing a video about Brett Favre soon.
Oh yeah, that shit's hilarious.
That shit's not hilarious. That
That shit's
nigga needs to be in
comedy.
jail. He needs to be in jail.
That shit's pure comedy.
That man
Like
needs to be in jail.
honestly, that feels like something that somebody in
We'll
Hollywood
say
will write about a famous NFL player.
we will save it for when we talk about it, but that man needs to be in jail. I don't I don't care what nobody says.
All right, so I'm gonna end this episode on a quote I think best describes the situation. A wise man once told me, "You don't shit where you eat."
Take it for what you want.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of the From Half Court Sports Talk Show. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.
Peace.